Ladies and gentlemen, it is Andre Norman, your host of Hope Media, the Mom's Edition. We are here because, as you know, there's nothing better than the sound of mom calling your name. Nothing. Mom's love, mom's cooking, mom's room, mom's everything. So for the Mom's Edition of Hope Media, we have another phenomenal mom. How are you doing?
I'm doing as best as I can.
Well, you know I have a whole tribe of 650,000 people rolling with me. And we just had to hear from you. You want to tell folks who you are?
My name is Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hello.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Illinois, but I live in Georgia now.
You got tired of cold?
Yes.
That's why I moved here.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So, did you go to high school in Illinois?
I did.
What high school you go to?
It was Larkin in Elgin, Illinois.
Elgin. What do they call the school? What was your mascot?
The Royals.
We were the Cardinals. Madison Park Cardinals, stand up. So you was a Royal? Mm-hmm. So what was life like in high school?
Not good. I didn't like it. I ended up dropping out as soon as I turned 16.
So, okay, you come into ninth grade. Mm-hmm. How was it? Freshman year?
Not good.
What was bad about it?
I just didn't like school at all.
You didn't like going to class?
No, I went to class. I just didn't do what I should have been doing.
What were you doing in class?
Just not paying attention. And
Talking to your friends in the back of the room?
not really. I just stayed to myself pretty much.
You didn't have a lot of friends?
I had associates, not really
Associates.
friends. Yeah.
You say that now. Back then they were
Yeah, I
friends.
thought they were friends, yeah.
So what did they do to cross you?
Nothing, we just grew apart.
Okay,
Life
10th
changes.
grade. What you doing? How was 10th grade?
I only went for half of 10th grade, and it was not good.
What happened the first half of the year?
I just never liked school. I always knew once I hit 16, I wasn't going to stay in school.
So you was just like counting down the days.
Yeah. Even in elementary school, it was not for me.
This is not for me.
No.
So did you tell your parents that this was, you live with mom and dad at the time?
No, just my mom.
So you live with your mom?
Yeah, she knew. I told her way ahead of time.
Like, I hate this stuff. Mm-hmm. She was like, just stick it out.
No, she actually never told me that.
She was like, just do you.
Yep.
So you live with your mom. Where was your dad?
He wasn't really around when I was growing up. I was really close to his side of the family, but he wasn't around.
Was he like in another state, another city, or just
I don't know. He just was everywhere pretty much, but not with me.
you? So what was it like not having your dad?
I didn't really care because I was really close to my mom, so it never really bothered me too much.
So 10th grade, half year, January, boom, you're out of there.
February, when my birthday came.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Birthday comes, you celebrate, I'm out.
Yeah.
You still living at home?
Yeah.
So what do you do at 16 and a half out of school?
Stuff I shouldn't have been doing.
Such as, I mean, don't get super
yeah.
graphic, but
I mean, I was hanging around with gangbangers and stuff like that.
I'd have never guessed.
Yeah, I did.
So you was out there,
Yeah.
hanging out, chilling, and just living your life.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like most teenagers do.
Myself as well. So we had girls hang out with us when I was 16, so I'm not shocked. You know what I'm saying? Because we were never out there just like 50 guys. It was always like 20 guys, 10, 15 girls. It was always
Yeah, that's how it was.
people
with
from the
us.
neighborhood. So you lived in the neighborhood with gangs, or you went had to travel to it?
No, I lived on the west side. The gangs were mostly on the east side, so I would go over there.
It was just fun. So you hanging out on the east side, 16, 17. You're not going to school.
No. I got pregnant at 17 with my oldest daughter.
Okay, so you're 17. One of the guys that you're hanging out with?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Y'all stay together?
No, we were never together. We were just
Just friends.
friends.
So you get pregnant. He's like, hey. And you go home and tell your mom, I'm pregnant at 17. She says what?
She wasn't happy, but
What did she say?
she didn't really say anything. She just gave me that look of disappointment that I didn't really get a lot, so I knew it was not good. But
What did it feel like to have your mother disappointed?
not good. But she was there.
She stuck with you.
Yep, she did. She helped me.
So your daughter's born. You named her?
Tiana.
Tiana. Where did the name Tiana come from?
I just liked it. I heard it and I liked it.
Okay. So you, Tiana, mom, living in Illinois still? Only child?
No, I have 4.
So you have 4. So how many more did you have? 3 more.
Three
what are
more.
the names?
Royale, Nicolette, and London.
Oh, I just got to think for London.
Yeah.
Not against the other three.
Yeah.
That name hit me.
Yeah, that's
My
my
son used to
son's
live
name.
in London.
Okay.
So you're living with your mom. You have 4 kids.
Well, I placed my youngest daughter for adoption. So I raised 3, but I had 4.
So what was it like placing your youngest daughter up for adoption?
It was hard. But I knew I couldn't give her the life that she needed, so.
So who suggested adoption?
I just knew that that's what I was going to do as soon as I found out I was pregnant with her.
You signed up. So you signed the papers and
It's an open adoption, though, so.
What does that mean?
I'm still a part of her life. Like, I've known her since she was a baby. Like, she knows that I'm
it's
her
kind of
mom.
like permanent foster care.
No.
She's adopted.
Yeah.
But in my mind, being from the block, if you can still see her, it's kind of like she's in permanent foster care.
No.
She's with them.
Yeah. Well,
But
they raised her, but it's open adoption. Like, you're still allowed to be a part of their life and know what's going on with them and stuff.
Gotcha.
And
You're like super determined. Where did this energy and this I know come from?
I mean, you just have to know. I mean, I don't always know everything, but some situations you just have to know.
You knew you wasn't going to stay in school.
No.
You knew you weren't letting go, and you were going to have all of your kids. Mm-hmm. You knew this kid was going into adoption. Mm-hmm. So, are you working? Or are you just staying with mom?
I was working at that time.
So you got 3 older kids at home, and was the last baby adopted in Illinois?
So I had my youngest daughter. I had 3 girls, and then my son's my youngest. So she was my second to youngest. But yeah, she's still in Illinois.
Okay. So you just living then. You're going to work. I'm saying,
Taking care of my kids.
taking care of the kids.
Doing what I got to do.
Did any of your kids say, I don't like school?
Pretty much all of them at one point.
And how did you feel? Did you feel like your mom?
Yeah, but they stuck it through. Well, not my son, but my 2 girls did. They stuck it through.
But when they first came home and said, Mom, I don't like school, did you say, oh my God, I'm my mother?
I was just like, you probably want to think about it because I regretted it. You know, I wish I would have stayed in, but I mean, I just told them, you do what you want to do, but you might end up regretting it like I did.
So at what age did your kids start getting in trouble?
Probably, so my second daughter and my son both got in trouble, and they were pretty young, about 6 or so.
What does a 6-year-old do to get in trouble?
They would just tear up the school and like their classroom and
Anger issue. Sounds anger.
Yeah, they were diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder. So yeah.
So they would just have fits of rage and just like, I ain't having it today.
Yep. Pretty much every day.
Every day. So what was it like managing those kids when they came home?
It was hard.
Did you have help?
My mom. I stayed with my mom pretty much while my kids were growing up. So she helped me a lot.
Shout out to moms. We need to get your mom in here to do the mom's mom edition. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't sound like an easy, you know what I'm saying, walk down the park either.
I mean, compared to a lot of kids when I was younger, I was not out getting in trouble like they were and stuff, but I put her through it.
Yeah, I'm not saying getting in trouble is not everything.
Yeah.
If you came home and said, Mom, I'm dropping out of school.
Yeah.
My mother would have tore me up. She was not going for that. We didn't do good in school, but we had to go. Which didn't make a lot of sense. But we weren't allowed to quit for some reason.
Yeah, I guess my mom just knew if you know, like, you can't force somebody. Once you're that age, you can't force somebody to do something, you know? So.
Listen, I'll tell you about a black mom. I failed 4 years of high school, but I was there to fail. I failed all 4 years, but I failed from inside that school. For some reason, I was programmed to get up and go to the school. If you do good or not, just be in that building. And the crazy thing, when I stopped being in the building is when I started getting in trouble. A lot. Well, I couldn't take it back. Because even though I wasn't in class, the teachers had an effect on me. Most of my favorite people were my teachers from high school and middle school.
Not mine, but...
it will happen.
Maybe elementary school, but
So one of your children ended up going to jail? Which one?
well, my daughter, she went for a little while too.
What did your daughter go for? How old was she when she went?
Well, she was older, so she was on probation for a while, for a long while, and then there was a situation, and she went. It was only for like 11 days, but it was a probation violation, so she had to go.
So when they took her away, what did you think?
It was hard.
Did they go to court and surrender her? Did they come to the house and get her?
No, they were already at the house.
No, before she went to jail, did they come to the house and physically take her?
No,
Or
they
did
were
she-
already at my house when it happened. Like with the situation, they were already at my house.
Oh, the police were at your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah,
So they took her out in handcuffs.
yeah.
So you're sitting in your kitchen and you're watching your daughter go out the door in handcuffs. And you're
Well,
thinking,
we were outside, but yeah.
and you're
yeah, we
thinking
did.
what?
It was hard. That's my baby. You don't want to see your baby taken away in handcuffs and.
So what do you, after they take her, what do you do?
It was a while ago. I don't really remember exactly what I did, but probably cried.
And then she's gone for 11 days.
Well, they took her and my son at the same time, and he had to go to juvie for a little bit.
Did they get in trouble together or something?
It
They did.
was involving all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're their co-defendant.
No, I didn't get in trouble. I've
you
never.
said involving all of
well,
us.
it was a situation that had to do with me and somebody else, and
It fell
they
on them.
were upset about it, and they went too far.
They went too far.
Yeah.
So they came. So daughter goes, son goes at the same time in the handcuffs. Oh, you cried.
I did.
And she's gone 11 days. How long is he gone for?
He was only gone for like a few days because it was juvie. They never kept him in juvie very long.
Then they brought him back.
Well, I went and picked him up, but yeah.
How was it picking him up?
I mean, I just went and grabbed him and we went home.
And just okay. So
Well, I mean, it wasn't okay, but
did you resolve the situation?
yeah, I didn't blame them because they were protecting me at the time. So
Bad boyfriend?
yeah,
Are you had a bad boyfriend and they're like, Mom, and it just spun out of control.
yeah.
You got rid of the boyfriend?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he was. I had already gotten rid of him, but
He just was lingering
Yeah.
around.
yeah,
And they made sure he knew he wasn't welcome.
yeah, they sure did.
They made it listen. Sometimes you gotta let them know, leave mom alone.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of stuff to a lot of people, but not mom. So they're both home, and everybody's thing back to normal.
Well, what the normal was for us.
Well,
yeah.
what was it normal for you? Because only you know.
Not good.
Well, what's the normal?
So, well, basically, my daughter got pregnant at 14, and when she had my grandson, she straightened up a lot. She totally turned her life around. And
Hold
then
on. How does your daughter get pregnant at 14?
the way you get pregnant.
I know how that part works. So she's in high school, 9th grade.
Yeah. No, she was in 8th grade.
8th grade,
At the
she meets a boy in 8th grade. And she comes home one day and says, Mom, I'm pregnant.
That's not how I found out.
How did
She
you
had
find-
actually gone to juvie for a little bit, and they gave her a pregnancy test, and we had a meeting when she got out, and they made her tell me.
And what
So
was
I
you
found
thinking?
out in front of a whole bunch of people.
And how did you feel?
I was devastated.
Are you seeing your mother's life revisited?
No, because
You came home.
considering this, my mom had it pretty easy. Well, not with me, not with my brothers.
No,
but
no. I'm saying, I'm out of school. You have a baby early, and you're going down
that happens. Usually, if your mom is a young parent,
you become.
you
a
have
young-
more of a chance of being a young
So
parent.
your mom was a young parent,
She was, yeah.
and you became a young parent,
And then my daughter did.
and your daughter became a young parent. So that's what I'm saying. You're living your mother's life
Yeah.
now. So it's not good, bad, and different. It's like
Yeah.
what your mother went through with you, you're going exactly through almost with your daughter. Were you cognizant of that?
Yeah, I was.
So how did you plan to get ahead of it to change the tide?
I mean, I didn't really think about it at the time just because it was
Just
a hard
living.
situation. I just told my daughter that I raised my kids. I'd be there to help her, but that was her baby, and she was taking care of him.
Okay.
And she did. He made her change her life around.
So that helped her. Mm-hmm. Did your son turn it around?
No.
What did he end up doing?
He did for a little bit, but then he just started. He was with some people
Got in
that
trouble?
he shouldn't have been with.
So I always ask this because my mother used to always say I was with people I shouldn't have been with, and they helped me get in trouble. But the truth was,
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
No, they were with the wrong person.
Oh.
My mother never blamed them. She never blamed me. She always blamed them. She found out much years later that I was the ringleader.
I don't think that was how it was. Just because of like the situation and everything.
So he got caught up, and you get a call that he's arrested. Is he adult at this time?
He was 17.
And so he went to the county jail. Different than juvie.
A lot different.
So what was the difference between you visiting juvie and visiting the county?
Well, he only stayed in juvie for a few days, so I didn't even visit him there really. But I mean, it's hard seeing your 17-year-old child behind a plate of glass, or at the time it was video visit, so I would go and sit on the phone and he'd be not even like right there.
So how long did he stay for?
I mean, for 2 years till he went to prison.
So he stayed in the county jail for 2 years?
Yeah, he went to different ones, but yeah.
So he would call home?
Yeah.
So what were the phone calls like?
Mostly good. Sometimes not so much. He's very hard-headed, so.
He's hard-headed?
Very.
No. I would have, no.
Yes.
That comes from his dad's side of the family.
Yeah,
Just say.
definitely.
That's the dad's side. He did not get that from your side
No.
of the family.
Not at all.
We're going to blame that one on dad.
Other people might feel different, but that's how I feel.
We're here. We're going to blame that one on dad.
We definitely will.
I blame a lot of my son's stuff on his mom. Like, you get that from your mother's side of the family. That is not from us. So he's calling from the county. How was it to get a call from? Were you excited? Was it problematic? Was it stressful?
No, I mean, I would be excited just to hear his voice and stuff. I mean, it was hard because he wasn't there, but it was nice to hear his voice and stuff. So.
What's some of the stuff you would tell him on the phone to encourage him?
Just to keep his head up and do what he has to do to get through, and that I'll be here for him. And
so he's in Illinois, he's locked up.
no, he's here in Georgia.
He's in Georgia.
Yeah.
So he spends 2 years in the county, then he gets sentenced. What was the sentence?
30 to life.
30 to, so you're sitting in a courtroom, and the judge says 30 to life. What do you do with that?
Just broke down. It was pretty much the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Because honestly, I wasn't expecting it. He kept telling me that's what he was going to get, but I didn't want to believe it.
So he went to trial. The judge says 30 to life. You see him, they walk him out of the courtroom. What do you do?
I just cried. I couldn't watch him walk away.
Have you been to see him since that day?
Quite a bit.
How's it going to see him?
It's a process because you don't. I mean, he was only 20 minutes from me for a little while, and that wasn't too bad, but now it's 3.5 hours, and sometimes you don't get your whole visit and stuff, but I mean, I go because that's my child, you know? I've got to see him and stuff.
But why don't you say, okay, he messed up, I'm going to go the other way. I got other kids.
I would never do that.
Hmm?
I would never do that. That's my child.
But he messed up.
Doesn't matter. I've messed up in my life.
So you're sticking with him all the way through?
I pray that I'm here to stick with him all the way through.
Does he know that you miss him?
I tell him all the time.
Do you get video visits at all?
Where he's at, they don't have video visits.
How would you feel if you could have video visits?
Oh, I would love that. Especially since my mom can't travel to visit him. And she'd be able to see him too.
So there's some people who believe we shouldn't have video visits and tablets for prisoners because they got in trouble. What do you think about that?
That wouldn't be right at all. You still need your family. People make mistakes. Really? We're suffering too. And not to be able to talk to our family or for them to talk to us, that wouldn't be right.
How helpful are the calls for you?
Yeah. To know that he's okay and stuff. And just to hear his voice.
You miss him, sounds like.
I do.
I get the best friend vibes. Like he was like a buddy. Like he's a kid, but he's like.
Well, I mean, he
That's
was
it.
a mama's boy, but I sent him to live with his dad for a few years, and when he came back, we didn't have a very good relationship, but we started to get closer as he got older and stuff. And now I think he sees that I was just trying to do the best I could, and like I never wanted to like hold him down or anything. I just was his mom, and I wanted the best for him, and I think he sees that now.
So you said your mom's unable to travel to see him?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
She's just older, and it's hard for her to be in a car for that long and stuff.
So he gets to talk to his grandma?
Yeah, all the time. They're really close.
What is it? What do the calls do for her?
Well, they help her a lot. She doesn't really talk to me about it, but I know it's hard for her. And so to hear that he's okay and stuff makes her feel good.
So how is it for you being in the house with all these women who have a similar story?
It makes it a little easier because we can talk to each other and stuff.
So what has been the best part of this weekend so far for you?
Just being with other people who know what I'm going through. Because you can talk to people about it, but a lot of people don't understand. I didn't understand till it happened to me. So to be able to talk to other people who understand and just get away, sometimes you just need to get away and, not think about things. And
He's watching you. So what do you want to say to you? What do you want to say to him?
that I love him and I miss him a lot. And I really hope he gets to come home.
I'll tell you, I've had myself and a lot of friends who were never supposed to come home. I'm home.
That's what gives me hope.
I had a friend with natural life, not 30 to life, natural. He's home. I had a few friends with natural life sentences and life sentences that are all home now. It can change. He has to do the work.
I tell him that all the time.
He has to do the work. But if you do the work, you get your chance.
He does.
What's some of the things he's doing now that's making you proud?
He went to get his GED because he dropped out of school too. He doesn't get in trouble in there a lot and stuff, and which is amazing to me because he was constantly in trouble when he was out and stuff. And even though I know it's hard, he has strength. He's very strong.
So for the other moms who are out here, who are going to see this, who have a kid who's 13, 14, what signs did you maybe miss or things you might have done differently that you can tell the next mom?
Them not being home, just running around with people they shouldn't be hanging out with, and not telling you what they're doing, not talking to you, That was a big thing. We didn't have conversations really and stuff. And I mean, it's hard because every child's different. So it's hard, you know, but, and like, if you think that they like need help outside of you, you need to get that help. You have to do what you can to get that help. Because I tried, but I didn't push hard enough. And I regret that.
If you could do it over again, what would you do?
I would make sure I got him the help he needed. And when they kept telling me, like, they kept telling me that I had to do things that I didn't have the capacity to do, and I asked for help, and they just kept telling me I had to do it on my own. But then when something would happen, it would be put on me, and I told them I tried to ask you for help, and you just gotta push.
I need you to read the tattoo on your arm.
It says, "My children, I gave them life. They gave me a reason to live."
How are the other ones doing?
Pretty good. My oldest daughter lives in California, and my other daughter has 3 kids, and
Your
she's an awesome
grandma.
mom. Mhm. She's an awesome mom.
How's it like being a grandma?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. It's nice because you can spend time with them, but then still have your own time.
Go
They don't
on.
have to be like on you all the time like your own kids. And,
Bye. Grandma's going home.
Yeah. Well, we live together, so, but I just go in my room or out. But it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What are the grandkids' names?
Xavier, Zamina, and Kai. I just pray that they walk the straight and narrow. And
Bet you they're helping them though. So you're an expert at helping kids. You're an expert. You realize now that you're an expert.
I just hope they listen, because sometimes kids don't. Like, you can tell them, but they don't want to listen.
You got to mix in the hugs and the sandwiches and the candy early. I bribe my son. I'm not going to lie. I'm saying I bribe him. Even to this day, he's 18 and a half. I still bribe him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, Dad, I want this thing. I'm like, what am I going to get? You want that? What am I getting? He said, cool, you can get it. What am I getting? And I make him, we negotiate for everything. So I end up giving it to him. But we negotiate.
Yeah, that's usually what a parent does.
He plays FIFA soccer on the line. So again, most kids and dads and this time, sometimes you're cool and sometimes you're not. So I was not cool, kind of, sort of. But we all right, but I'm not cool. So to get cool again, I'm saying what I did. Oh, see around? Okay, cool. He plays online soccer, a little FIFA stuff. So I go in the room one day and he's always playing this game. I used to always ignore it. But it was his favorite thing to do. So one day I went in the room and I'm watching him play. He has his players. And the players have like the ranking. They go from like 50 all the way up to 99. 99 are the best players. He doesn't have money. He's 18. So he plays the game, but he has like regular players. So he's playing other people and getting beat who have better players. So I said, hey, I'm going to be the owner of your team. So I can give him money to buy points, this is the biggest hustle ever. They charge you money to buy points so you can buy better players. So I started giving him money, and we started buying better players. So he went from like having 78s and 81s. Now all his players are in the 90s. So he's having way more fun. And I own the team because I bought all them players. You know what I'm saying? And we go in, he'll call me, hey, Dad, there's somebody in the draft. And we'll buy points and we'll buy the players. And again, it started a point where we conversate all the time. And before, if we didn't have something to talk about, there was nothing to talk about. So it was either conversation or no conversation. There was no middle ground. Because I'm 56, he's 18. Where's the middle ground? Our middle ground is now FIFA soccer. So he'll call me and talk about the game. He'll talk about the players. He'll talk about this. And I'll just go sometimes and sit in his room while he plays the game. And I'm just sitting there and I'm watching him play. And we talk about soccer now. So finding that thing that he loves, that I can be a part of, was super helpful for me.
That's awesome.
I mean, it took me a little while. I mean, he's in the house playing this thing every day, and I'm ignoring the one thing that became the biggest ally to me. I wanted to throw the game out the window, but then it became the bridge to my kid. I almost burnt my own bridge.
That's how I feel with my grandson. That's all he wants to do is play his game. But
Then, what kind of games do you play?
I don't even know.
Get to know. Play it. Listen, you don't have to play it with them. That's a lot. But you can sit in the room and have them explain it to you. It's not hard to learn or be cognizant of it, and then just have the conversations. And you know something? You'd be the coolest grandmom ever. Because all of his friends are looking at his team like, how did you get that team? Oh, my dad. How did you get that player? Oh, my dad. They're like, what? Your dad's helping you build your team? No, none of his friends. Their dads are involved in helping them build their soccer team. Because it is the biggest scam ever that video game companies are charging me to upgrade players. I remember the first time he called me years ago. He says, Dad, I need $50. I sent him $50. And then he bought, I got you get the alert on your phone, it said PlayStation, $50. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is this? He said, oh, I bought uniforms for my people. What are you talking about? You can now, on a video game, if you don't like the color that it comes in, you can buy a different uniform color. It might come with blue, you can buy orange, you can buy pink, you can buy, I mean, what are you talking about? How do you buy stuff? When I was a kid, it came with one outfit and that was it. You can buy colors, you can buy shoes, you can buy hats, you can buy jerseys, you can buy cars, you can buy swords. They're getting us. I'm saying, so I'm like, this is a scam. But once I realized that's where he was, I was able to meet him where he was. So the money I've given PlayStation, I used to think it was a scam. I say thank you, because you gave me a bridge to my kid. Without that PlayStation, we don't have a middle ground. I'm 56, he's 18. We'll never be on the same level in space. Everything was a dad conversation. Now we have soccer conversations.
That's awesome.
So sit down with the little one. Listen, you're going to end up putting your credit card on the thing and buying these accessories that should be free, but they're not. But I'm happily paying PlayStation for the ability to connect to my kid. So your kids are coming home soon. They're coming home. We know this, right? And what are you going to do when he comes home?
Talk to him.
You're going to tell him what?
Just talk about anything and tell him that he can always come to me and that I'm always going to be there. And
Anything you want to say to him before we go?
I love you.
That's it? That's all he needs? What's his favorite meal
Um,
that you cook?
I don't really cook. I'm more of a cleaner. I'm not a
Microwave dinner? You give him microwave dinner?
No.
You
My
cook
mom.
something.
My mom cooked.
What does she cook for him?
She pretty much. He loves wings, hot wings.
He's from Atlanta, as he should. Send him lemon pepper. Catch up. So it was phenomenal having you.
Thank you.
So you gonna stay for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna go home.
You leaving?
Yeah, I'm gonna go spend some time with the kids.
You got more. They need mom. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And for all y'all watching, this is Hope Media. I'm your host, Andre Norman. Until we see you next time, just know, mom's praying for you, she's rooting for you, she's definitely waiting for you. See you soon.